There are a number of changes that need to be made to the given file in order to produce a solution, so let's start with the login file. The first problem, which is easy to forget about, is that we don't have the correct files imported to support all of the XHTML tags. In particular, the HTML tag at the top should contain the xmlns:h equals java.sun.com/jfs/html import statement. This is necessary for the file to run properly. If it is not included, then Eclipse will have no idea how to run any tags beginning with H and colon. The next problem was the syntax of the input text tags. The syntax for HTML tags in general is very finicky, especially when there are multiple attributes and nested tags, so it's important to be careful that the syntax is correct. Anytime you have some attribute equal to a value, that value must be in quotation marks. If there are quotes within the value itself, then they should be single quotes. To reference Java code, the syntax is a £, curly braces, and then the code itself. The most common such reference is to a single variable within a Java class. Finally, be sure to close all of your tags properly. The input text tag can be closed in line, but the form tag needs a separate closing tag. Page 2 of this code has very similar problems. One additional issue that you might run into is that there must be an H colon in front of output text. Most Java Server Faces tags require a letter with a colon in front of them, so it's important to remember which tags require which letter, because if you get it wrong, then the tags will not be properly detected. Finally, we can take a look at the name wrapper class. There are only 3 problems here, but they're all easy to miss. The most obvious of the 3 is the problem with variable assignment statements in the set classes. By default, Java gives the function's input variable the same name as the class variable, which can lead to ambiguity. In the original file, we were literally saying name equals name, which doesn't mean anything to Java. The input variable name will always overwrite the class variable, so references to the class variable must be preceded by the this keyword. The this keyword simply tells Java that the variable that follows is from the class, not the input argument. Another issue is the lack of annotations for name wrapper. As it stood in the original file, Eclipse had absolutely no way of knowing that name wrapper was a managed bean for a Java Server Faces application. Instead, it just looked like a generic Java class. We needed to add in 2 annotations above the class declaration, managed bean and session scoped, because its values must persist over multiple web pages. The final problem is with the private string out text. You might have noticed that even if you fixed all the other problems, you still got a warning that private string out text was never being used. As it turns out, it actually is being used, but it's being used by the page2.xhtml file rather than by the name wrapper class itself, so it wasn't detecting. The best thing you can do here is just to put a suppress warning statement, which will keep Eclipse from giving you an incorrect warning where there shouldn't be one. To make sure this code is functioning properly, we can run it on the server by right-clicking on Login, choosing Run As, and then Run on Server. This will open the first web page, which asks for a name, address, and zip code. When I input text into all 3 boxes and choose Submit, the function will take me to the second page and print out my suggested password. If your fixed code looks and functions like this code, then you have successfully completed this challenge.